everybody, welcome back to the Chorizo Bros. Coming at you with another book review. Today we're going to be talking about Mr. Be Gone by Clive Barker. It's a novel that was published in 2007. It's very different from what his normal stuff is, even though it's kind of hard to quantify what exactly Clive Barker is doing constantly. He's known most for his horror. Hellraiser is one of his creations based off of The Hellbound Heart, which was a novella from back in the day. So he's got this reputation for horror, but he delves into all sorts of things. Fantasy, whatever. Now, I was excited when this came out. I think I read it in 2007 when it was published. But it was very different than his traditional stuff, and I found that to be a little bit strange, and I wasn't really in love with it when I first read it, right? But we'll get to that. First off, I wanted to say how cool the book actually looks, the design of it, because I kind of mentioned in my last couple of them where I commented on Gerald's Game and Dolores Claiborne. This one, the design of the book itself, the physical book itself, is very cool. If you were to look through the pages, you'd see each page looks kind of stained and old, to kind of give it the idea that it's like some antique you found, and that's really cool. I really like the design of the book. As far as what the book is about, I'm kind of don't want to spoil it too much at the beginning, and then I'm going to kind of talk about what I really liked about it on the reread, the most recent reread I had. I just finished this. Basically, it's about a demon that comes to Earth and has a demon companion, and they are going on this adventure trying to find torture devices and inventions and weapons, and that's kind of what their whole thing is. It's let's see what human beings are coming up with, and they're kind of interested in that. That's basically the plot. It's these two demons hanging out and trying to see what kind of torture stuff that human beings can come up with. I wouldn't recommend this book for everybody. Definitely not. Even if you're a horror fan, I would say this isn't really going to work for you. There's definitely horrific elements, but the reason why I liked it more upon this reread versus when I first read it was because I was expecting horror the first time, and then this time, and it's been several years, obviously, since I've read it, but I kind of found more of the humor. I found it's very much a dark humor story. But that's kind of the attitude you want to have going into this. Is it's trying to kind of make you laugh in a horrific way. So it'll be kind of explaining something gruesome, and then hitting you with just kind of why it's absurd and it's funny. So I think it'll be a cool thing here if I actually take a look at some of the lines in here. I'll just kind of burn through these real quick and don't want to hang out too much on here. I'm just going to start. There's really no context here. I just kind of want to hit you with the line. "What's worse than being eaten alive?" the girl said, her eyes widening, not with horror but with curiosity. Her question tested my memory and found it wanting. As a child, I'd been able to rattle off the 47 torments in ascending order of agony at such speed and so completely free of error that I'd been considered something of a prodigy. But now I could barely recall more than a dozen agonies on the list. Now, again, you can kind of just read through that and just take it as, oh, this is kind of a demon doing whatever. But I like the idea that there's like a list of torments, like you would memorize the alphabet or state capitals or something. There's like this kind of funny that what they want to remember is agonies and torments. It's just really funny to me. Let me read this next one because this one I actually laughed out loud when I read it. And again, it's gruesome, so just take that for what it is. I'd never heard of Maine's, nor at that moment had I any desire to go anywhere. I was soaking in a bath of infant's blood, which had taken no little time to fill, the bath being large and the infants hard to acquire and keep alive, so the bath was hot. And the numbers required. It had taken me half a day to find 31 infants and another hour or more to slit their squealing throats and drain their contents into the bath. Okay, so that's it's disgusting, but it's just the concept of him relaxing in a bath and how difficult it is to find an infant or infants, but the the hard part is keeping them alive so it's still warm. That's so fucking crazy. When I could look at it through again the humor, just the absurdity of that, I enjoy this book so much more. So yeah, I definitely recommend if you're kind of looking for something like that to check this out. Again, it's not going to be for everybody. Horror people are not going to really get it or appreciate it. I don't think. I think if you have to kind of look at it in a tongue-in-cheek way. But one of the things I didn't care about in this was the recurring sort of plot device of Jakabok Botch, he's the demon, talking to you through the pages, and it was just kind of this recurring. It starts off, burn this book, whatever, and then each like chapter break is him kind of taunting you about reading the book still. Why are you still reading this? Didn't I tell you to burn it? And it's just that kind of got old to me really fast. I was kind of wishing maybe it starts off that way, it finishes that way, and maybe there's like one thing in the middle that kind of reminds you about it. But I feel like it was just overused, and I found it to be very tedious. It wasn't really gelling for me on that part. So if they'd taken that out or trimmed it down, I would have liked that a lot better. Because the breaks aren't funny. The breaks are trying to sort of play it straight-laced, and for something that I was trying to laugh at, it wasn't really working. Overall, Clive Barker is amazing. He's one of my favorite authors. There was a time I would kind of count these guys as equals now, but before I would have said Clive Barker is way better than Stephen King, and my appreciation for Stephen has gone way up, and that was really unexpected. So they're kind of like equal to me. But yeah, Clive Barker is an incredible author. I think I'm probably going to, at some point, go through some of his older stuff so that we can kind of talk about it here, because one of his books, called The Great and Secret Show, is in my like top 5 favorite books of all time because of how strange it is and weird it is. It was written in, I think, 1989, but it's fantastic. This one, it's on my lower end of the books of his that I like. It's like at the very bottom, around there. He's such an amazing writer that it doesn't really matter if it's, not, if it's at the bottom of the list, it's still worth reading, I think. Yeah, definitely check it out. I actually should probably show off, since I am a collector. I have some cool Hellraiser stuff here. The artwork is really cool. If you haven't ever heard of Clive Barker, you're doing yourself a disservice, for sure. There's a lot of imagination. There's a lot of just cool stuff. So we'll get on here again, and I'll be excited to talk about a book of his that I really, really enjoy. Books of Blood was fantastic. Basically on that note, I mean, this is a pretty middle of the road book. Overall, it's a thumbs up for me, but again, with the caveat that I feel like you should already know the author a little bit, and you should go in it thinking he's just trying to make me laugh, and in a dark way. If you can do that, you're gonna enjoy it. And it's fast. It's a couple hundred pages. You can knock it out. It's not something that you see like a huge book like this and you're like, God damn, that's gonna be some work. This is not like that at all. You could knock it out in a couple afternoons if you really wanted to. You could knock it out in a day if you had the discipline. That's pretty much it for me, guys. It was a fun book. I'm kind of eager to get the guys back in here so we can talk about The Road. That's gonna be real fun. We're in a new space here too, so we're eager to get started here, man. We wanna do it. If you happen to be watching these book reviews too, it'd be really cool to leave a comment on something that I should check out, or maybe something you think I haven't read, or something that you'd want to hear my thoughts about, I guess. I'll go ahead and get out of here, you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Leave a like. Come back when I have the boys back together. We're gonna knock some shit out. Thank you.